I feel like this is far away, but it's kind of the best we got right now. So hi, welcome back to the FreeFormKnits YouTube channel. You can call me Haxann. This is my channel where I talk about knitting, crochet, and all sorts of other crafty things that might spark my interest. Thank you so much for joining me. If you're a returning viewer, hello. I haven't made a video in a very long time, but I feel motivated to talk about some of the things I've been making, so we are going with that. If you like hearing about knitting, crochet, maybe I'll talk a little bit about what I'm reading, then yeah, stick around and let's just chat about all kind of crafty things. Yeah. So we're just gonna jump right in. I have no excuse for, well, I do have an excuse for why I haven't made a video. I've just been busy with work, with school. I'm currently getting my bachelor's degree in both special education and elementary education, so that takes up some time, as well as just other kind of life stuff, but knitting and crocheting has been happening, and I'm very excited to share some projects with you. A little disclaimer before we begin: I live at home with my family. We are a lot of people in a small space. We have 2 little dogs who love to make their opinions known, so if you hear background noise, that's them. Yeah, so I'm just filming this randomly at, it's like nearly 5 o'clock, but there's sunlight, which is so exciting because it's finally spring, and even though it's a little bit cold and windier than I would like, spring is around the corner, which is great. Which does bring us into some finished objects. So I just kind of threw things together randomly at spur of the moment, so we will try and do these in some semblance of order. Not really. So the first finished object I have to share with you today is this pair of socks. This is actually a pattern. It's still relatively new. I only released it, I think, 2 weeks ago? I don't even remember, but it is my Wisps and Whisper socks. It is a DK weight sock pattern featuring this very fun stitch pattern that is so quick, so easy to memorize. I just really wanted a fun pair of socks. I wanted it to be quick, so DK, but also not too warm to wear in these as the seasons are warming up. I wear my hand knit socks all year round, so I wanted to be able to wear this pair also all year round, even though they were thicker, and this lace pattern was just perfect for that. So like I can wear these socks and not, you know, have yucky sweaty feet, basically. And also this pattern is so much fun. I really love designing patterns that feature fun stitch patterns to kind of spice up the knitting, do something not other than just basic vanilla. And this pattern is so engaging, but also very simple. So like I could put it down and do other things. I didn't have to just stay glued to the pattern. I love the little slip stitch detail just to kind of frame it. I'm really excited about this pattern because this pattern actually, you can knit it both cut down and toe up. It has instructions for my shortcut heel both ways. My shortcut heel is a heel construction that features no short rows, so it is just increases, decreases, and it's one of my favorites. It's really simple to do and it fits really well. So this sock pattern I'm very happy with, very proud of. It's my first release of 2024, so yeah, it's gotten quite a bit of love over on, I've shared a lot about it on Instagram, and you can purchase it in my Ravelry shop if you are interested. So links to everything will be down below. I really love it. I want to say the colorway is Baby Bee Ballet Slipper, I think. But any DK weight yarn you have will work. So that is a finished object that I'm very, very happy with. So finished object number 1, and then finished object number 2 is kind of awkward. So, well, not awkward. I kind of went into a little bit of a slump after those pairs of socks. They just kind of flew off the needles, and I wasn't just a slip with my knitting, but kind of a slip with my crochet. And I've seen a lot of great, like, I've kind of gotten back into like just being crafty also in like the content I see. A lot of crafters in Instagram Reels and on YouTube, and a lot of crocheters work with like the very chunky velvety yarn and like the novelty yarns, and I've always kind of strayed away from those in the past because I've had bad experiences with them. But I did have one skein of novelty yarn in my stash. It's like this velvet yarn that I bought to make some scrunchies for myself ages ago. and it was fine. I wasn't like attached to it or anything, and it wasn't anything special, but I decided to, you know, I'm in a crochet slump. I just want to see how this yarn works. Maybe that's something I want to do, because I do like to make amigurumi, and I do love seeing the amigurumi plushies people make with that really chunky yarn. So I decided to just start crocheting with it. What did I have to lose? And so I kind of totally freeformed this plushie. He's supposed to be Kirby. I'm not happy with his facial features because they are not the best. I feel like his overall shape and feet and stuff, that's Kirby-esque, but the face, I'm not. Sometimes he looks better than others. Like, sometimes I'll look at him and think, oh, you know what, that's decent, but other times I'm like, he's a little creepy. I don't know. But I did totally, you know, make him up in terms of, like, I didn't follow a pattern or anything. I just did whatever, you know, increases and stuff like that. So I'm happy with that. So the yarn, this is the velvet I was talking about. It's the Yarn Bee brand at Hobby Lobby. I don't know the exact name, but then just the regular feet is just the I Love This Yarn in red. I did change hook size, like partly through him when I was doing the increases, because I always size up because I hate having a tight tension. I know you're supposed to go for tight tension with things like socks and amigurumi, but that kind of messes up the process for me. It makes it not enjoyable. So I always size up my hook, but I was surprised with this. I think I ended up using maybe a 5.5. I think I started with a 6.5, went to a 5, went to a 6, and then tried a 5.5, I think. I don't even remember. It was only 2 years ago, but I can't remember. So yeah, the crocheting with this yarn wasn't as bad as I expected. Like I said, I only made scrunchies with it in the past, but yeah, so a little amigurumi. It did bring back my desire to crochet, so he's not too bad. I don't know. He's decent, I guess. So that is the second finished object I will share with you today. I do have one more. That is another sock pattern that is coming out. It's currently in testing, and this is the pattern I'm calling the Bluebell Shorties. This is just a simple shorty sock pattern. It is fingering weight, and again, in that vein of stitch patterns, fun, engaging stitch patterns, I love this stitch pattern. I'm just obsessed with it. So I hate doing ribbing, but I love the feel of ribbing and how ribbing hugs your foot, especially for socks, just how stretchy it is, how versatile, but I hate doing ribbing. So for these socks, and they're really nice because I actually blocked them because I've unknit this yarn so many times. So then when I was switching skeins to make the second one, it was like, you could tell it needed to be blocked, so I did block them, so they are especially pretty. But this stitch pattern, it is so much fun, and you get this kind of ribbing effect without having to do ages and ages of ribbing. So this sock pattern is currently in testing. This one will just be toe up. Let me know if that is, if you're in, you can easily adapt it for cuff down, but if like you're interested in having it, like you prefer cuff downs, like let me know, and maybe that is something I can do in the future. But currently it's in testing, the toe up version. And yeah, I really want to add more shorty socks to my pattern collection because I only have the Princess Cuff Shorties, which I came out with last year, and I love those socks so much. And I have a lot of smaller skeins of fingering weight yarn in my stash, so shorty sock patterns are on my mind, and I'm just really excited for these ones. They're just so pretty. So that is another finished object and another pattern that's going to be coming out sometime in April. I'm very excited. So that is another finished object. So I have made other things since I last recorded. I think the last video I made was kind of like a vlog style of me working on sweaters, and I have finished those sweaters. I'm not going to pull them out today and show them, but maybe I can do that in future because those sweaters are done. Unfortunately, I've only worn one of them because the weather was getting warm enough that I couldn't wear the other one, but that might have to happen. I'm really excited to share those with you, but I'm only just remembering them and I don't want to pull them out right now. So that will be for another video. That is an incentive to film more knitting content because that is something I want to do. Anyway, let's move on to some whips. So this, I'll start with, I just have a basket of stuff. So I'll start with this kind of, again, impromptu whip. My desire to crochet came back, and I have this yarn. I have a whole sweater quantity of this yarn. This is Yarn Bee Urban Chic, in the colorway Denim Days, and I bought this ages ago. I think my original plan for it was for Tunisian crochet, but whatever plan I had, I fell out of love with the idea, and I've started and stopped so many different projects with this colorway that it's kind of one of those colorways that sit in your stash and just kind of, I guess, not motivating at all. But I wanted to crochet something, and I wanted it to be that instant gratification type thing, and I didn't know what to do. So I decided to just start making granny squares. So granny squares, I made all these yesterday. Granny square after granny square after granny square. And whoop, I have one started. So I think what I'm going to attempt to do is make enough to make like a simple boxy cardigan. I did 5 rounds, and then there'll be 1 round for the border. I'll join as I go. I'll do that method of joining. That's what I think. If not, I'll just put them together as a blanket and call it good. I don't know. I don't know. On the one hand, it's kind of interesting because this yarn is like a self-striping patterning yarn. All the granny squares are different. But on the other hand, trying to put that into a sweater might drive me crazy. I don't know. So, can't go wrong with some granny squares. Just whipping those up. But this kind of got put on the back burner because I started another crochet project that I will show you in a second. And I'm using the same hook, which with crochet that isn't a big deal. It's not like with knitting where you're using the same needle size and you have to steal the needles. This just got pushed to the back, even though I started it literally yesterday. Was it yesterday? I think it was. Anyway, just a bunch of granny squares. Maybe it'll be a sweater, maybe it won't, who knows. Not me. I think I would know, but I don't. Okay, the second project that I will show you is a t-shirt type-esque project. So here it is. I'm making it up entirely my own numbers and everything. Just a simple like t-shirt top. I have the sleeves done. Well, they're off. They need to be short sleeves, so I need to finish them, but they're separated from the yoke. And then I'm just working down on the body. I do want to show you these really cool stitch markers. But they're not like, they're these little charms that I put on stitch markers to use as stitch markers. And it's like a book. It's books. This one's Wuthering Heights. Can you even see it? Wuthering Heights. And I have a Little Woman and Alice in Wonderland one. And they're super light and super pretty, and I love that. So I'm using a size 7 needle, I believe. Yep, US 7 4.5. US 7 4.5 needle. Just knitting around and around. Very basic, simple increases. Hopefully it fits. Me and my yoke calculations don't always get along. And then the yarn I'm using is Yarn Bee Bambootiful in the rose colorway. So it is a 50% cotton, 50% viscose from bamboo yarn, and it is so soft. It'll be perfect summer top. I have one other top, like t-shirt that I made last year in this yarn, but it doesn't fit. I did not size appropriately. So hopefully this one will. It'll be nice. This is a project bag that I made around Christmas time because, speaking of books as charms, I got this charm that it needs to be a zipper pull. The Murder of Mr. Wickham. Total tangent, but I love like this series, this I love Jane Austen's books, but then the way this author Claudia Gray put them like as her own little series of like happening after the books, and they're all together, and the characters she came up with are just really good. The third one in the series comes out this June, so I'm very excited. If you also know this series, like, let me know, because it's really, this one was the best, hands down. The second one wasn't as good. And yeah, that's a total tangent. But anyway, I love this little charm. So it's my zipper pull for this bag because it kind of matches this fabric. And that's where that I'm keeping that project. So, one more whip I will talk about before we go into my last whip and kind of acquisitions is this blanket. I don't remember if I've ever shared it. I think I have. It was like a whole debacle of me not having the yarn for it to finish it because I needed another set of these minis. Whole thing. So I kind of want to finish this, but I just have not picked it up in ages, and I'm in the middle of a row because that's nice of me. It is just this big old rainbow blanket. It's worsted held with a strand of fingering just to make it a little bit thicker and give it this marled effect. Of course, I'm showing you the side with all my ends. I've been moving them in as I go, but I just haven't trimmed them. So here it is. It's very beautiful. Like, I love this thing. I'm doing an I-cord edging just to give it like a clean edge. It's so beautiful. I am going through my second half of minis right now. So I'm in the pinks. I'm like here, and then I gotta go through all this before I can call it good. I'm using a size 10.5, 6.5 millimeters needle. This is my Knit Picks interchangeable mosaic set. This is the Caspian. That's the wood that the size 10.5 comes in. It's so nice to work on, but it's just gotten clumsy. During the week, I kind of don't have that much crafting time. I try to get a little bit in before I leave for work. But this is just so bulky and slow going to work on for only a little bit. So I have not been motivated to pull it out. So I don't know when it will get done. Maybe it'll sit till next winter. I don't know. It is such a cheery blanket though. I love it so much. So that has not seen some progress in a while, but I wanted to share it because I like when podcasters show like the big blankets up on the screen. I think that's fun. So hopefully you had fun with that. Anyway, my last whip, which will lead us into acquisitions, is I am working on, yesterday I went to Joann Fabrics, and here's kind of a funny, not so funny story. I have not been into Joann Fabrics in literal years. Like, I have not been in ages because I learned to knit and crochet when I was like 9 and 10 years old. So, and we did not live near like any sort of craft stores. We did not live close to a Joann's or a Michael's. The yarn I got was mostly from Walmart. We didn't even live close to Walmart. So, but that's like the easiest thing I could get. So when I first went to Joann's, I was like 10 or 11 years old. I was super excited. Me and my siblings were excited like to go to this like craft store and find like cool things. The Joann's we went to, it was a bad experience. Like, they did not like that we were like kids in a craft store, which is like so weird because I feel like if you see like younger people in a craft store, like, you want to encourage them to do things with their hands. But it was like such a bad experience that we like did not go near a Joann's ever again. So it was kind of a big deal that we went yesterday. And it was so nice. Like, the people that were working there were so nice. Like, you know, I was buying some fabric that I'll show you in a second, and they were just like, what are you working on? Like, you know, just nice people, not rude, scarring people. So it was a big deal that we went there, and I'm very proud that I went there. And anyway, I was there and I was with my little sister, and she picked out this yarn and said, can you make me a bag? Sure, I can make you a bag. I love bags. I make bags all the time. The yarn she picked out is Lion Brand Mandala, and I've never worked with this yarn, so I was kind of excited. The colors were super pretty. She picked out this blue fade, and you can kind of see on the panel here. It's just a 100% acrylic yarn. It feels really nice. So I kind of like went over with her, like, what kind of style bag do you want? Do you want like a closing flap? Do you want it to be open or closed? You know, the fabric type. So I started this last night. and I'm now working on the flap. So we've gone for a rectangular shape, so I made like the square bottom. She did want like an open mesh fabric, but with my gauge I didn't want it to be too open, so I kind of alternated between a V-stitch and half double crochet. So I really like how it's turning out. Like I said, I'm working on the flap now. I'm trying to go for like a V flap. Depends on how long it will be. Maybe I'll add a cute button. And then she wants like a shorter strap. So yeah, I'm really happy with this. And this is the same hook size I'm using for my granny squares. It is a 4.5mm hook. This is either from Knit Picks or the Hobby Lobby set. They were exactly identical and I have one set of each, so I don't know which one is which. But I love the hooks with the handles. So that is that. So this is the one thing I got from Joann's. It's the only yarn I got, I know, right? But the only yarn I got. Then I did pick up some fabric, and I'm super excited about this fabric. Look how cute this is. It's Animal Crossing. Like, this is adorable. So I got 1 yard of this, and then and they had these on sale on clearance. This was under $3 for this, a yard of this fabric and a yard of this fabric, which is Where the Wild Things Are. Find me where the wild things are is what it says if you can't see it, because the lighting is kind of leaving us. But yeah, under $3 because it was like $3.97 a yard, but then there was another sale on top of it. So it was like under $3 for a yard of each of these, which is pretty awesome. And then I got just some ribbon to use as the drawstring for the bags I plan to make. So pretty awesome. I'm pretty happy with that. And that's kind of the only like acquisition thing that I have to share with you today. That is actually all the crafting content I have. Like I said, I am motivated to kind of film more in general. I just love sharing my works in progress. I like hearing what you guys are working on. So if you could take a moment and comment down below, what are you working on? What is bringing you joy right now? I would love to hear it. I really, I think that's what's kind of making, I'm going through like these spells of motivation with my crafting, and not having that like connection with any other crafters is kind of like really affecting that. So if you could comment down below what you were working on, share with me. I'd love to hear about it. If you are also looking for that connection, I would love to hear about what you're working on. I love it so much. I also like seeing in other crafters, like I've kind of been the viewer of podcasts, like just what you're working on, and then I kind of turn off podcasts after that. I recently found that I really kind of like seeing what podcasters are reading. I thought I would share what I am reading recently. It's really hard for me personally to kind of balance my love of, knitting, my love of crochet, my love of reading, all those kind of things on top of all the other life stuff you have to do. But I have kind of been in a reading kick again, and I thought it would be fun to share what I'm reading. I've recently kind of gotten into a few like booktubers on watching them and their reads and their, TBR lists and stuff like that. So that's really fun. So I thought I'd share what I am reading. I'm currently reading the Throne of Glass series by Sarah J. Maas, and part of the reason I want to talk about this is because I was really hesitant to go into this series. So I don't kind of like to type myself as any sort of specific genre of reader, because I'm kind of like I'll try anything once type of reader. So I'm not gonna, like, I know there are some readers who are like, oh, I never touch thrillers, or I never touch fantasy, or I never touch romance, and I just can't make that commitment. I like a little bit of everything. But I bought the sequel to this story and the prequel, mistakenly thinking that they were the first two books of the series. Like, I got confused in the bookstore when I was picking them up, and I didn't have this one for ages, and then I didn't buy it for ages because of the other series that this author wrote. Sarah J. Maas, she wrote A Court of Thorns and Roses, like that whole series, and that's like really popular on like TikTok and Instagram and all that. And I don't want to like, I haven't read that series, so I can't like judge it, but just the way it's hyped up makes me very skeptical if it's something I will like, just based on I feel like it's not the plot or the characters that are hyped up so much as what they do. So that makes me very skeptical, because I'm very much a like, I want the book to be good, the plot, the characters, all that. I want that richness, and then if they do stuff like, then like I'm into it because the rest of it's good. But not if it's only hyped up for that reason, then it's not going to be something I enjoy. So I hesitated on getting this for the longest time, but I finally bought it. I actually bought this edition off of thrift books, because when I got the sequel and the prequel, it was this cover edition. And I personally, this might be controversial, I don't like the new covers that are coming out. I mean, I don't, like, if I bought it in the bookstore, it would be fine that it wouldn't match, but I just don't like that cover. I prefer this kind of cover on a book, at least for this type series. Sometimes those covers are cute, but just not compared to this. I didn't like it. But I will say, even though I like this better and it matches the editions I already have, I have to say the setting of this book, like, this is not the clothes they wear, so I'm very confused. Like, this is not reminiscent of the setting inside the book, so it's kind of weird. But anyway, I really am enjoying it, and I'm like surprised how much I'm enjoying it. Like, the setup, it just wasn't what I was expecting. I had started reading it, and then like yesterday I read like over 200 pages because I really got into it. It's really fun. The little blurb on the cover like talks about like how it's like similar to the Hunger Games, and similar in like sort of the we're all trying to kill each other type of stuff. I'm really enjoying it, and so that's just what I'm currently reading. So and on top of hearing about your projects, I would also love to hear if you are reading, if you like reading, if you're, you know, do you find yourself leaning more towards fantasy, more towards romance, like historical fiction, anything like that. So like I said, I'm kind of a mix of all of them. I have a lot of taste that it's hard to kind of narrow down then when it comes time to read, like, what do I want to read? But I am really enjoying this, and very happy that I'm enjoying it. So hopefully I continue to enjoy it. Sometimes books make you mad, but so far I really like it. So yeah. Okay, I think that is everything I have that I wanted to talk about this time, at least. I'm a little rusty, so apologies if yeah, if this quality is not what you're looking for in videos. But if you have watched until the end, thank you so much. It means a lot. I hope that you found something of interest. If you found any sort of inspiration, or just some commiserating, and you know, sometimes inspiration is hard to come by. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. If you could take a moment and, like I said, comment on what you were working on, comment on what you were reading, anything, I would love to hear about it. Give this video a thumbs up if you did like it, subscribe if you want to see more. I hope to make more videos because it's fun. It gives me a chance to kind of go through everything that I'm working on and make a plan in my head. And speaking of making a plan, I think I would like for next time, whatever that may be, to definitely have this bag finished and make some project bags, because that has been on my list for ages. I want to make project bags. I want to use these cute fabrics. So yeah, that's going to be my goal. And also finish this book, because I need to finish some more books. So yeah. Thank you so much for watching. I will hopefully see you soon. Happy crafting.